All right, wonderful. Well, welcome everybody to Meditation for Body and Soul. So, we're going to be having some inspiring writings from different religious traditions on the subject of divine guidance on the path. And I think this is a subject that we can all relate to because it's very confusing trying to find one's way in a spiritual sense when we have so many conflicting influences all around us. So many voices that are striving to be heard. And I think that if I have any simple message for you before we start the readings, it's to know that there's a voice within you that will be guiding you. And sometimes that voice, it's hard to hear, and sometimes it actually becomes stronger through difficulties and struggles that we have on the path. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom and experience in this group. You all have had experience with the way that sometimes an experience that seems to be just the worst in the world that you dread and you lament it, but indeed in the end it becomes the door to something deeper opening within you. And I wanted to share a story that I really love from a mystical work called The Seven Valleys and the Four Valleys. And the story relates exactly to this sort of experience. This was written by Baha'u'llah in the 1800s. And it's a story that, although it's about an older time, I think we can all relate to it even with the modern happenings that have been in the news this week. And it's a story about a lover, and he is pining away for his beloved. He has been separated from her, and he can't think about anything else but her. And he's become so dejected and sad. His friends have tried to help him, doctors have tried to help him, and there just seems to be no cure. He's looking for his beloved everywhere, and he can't find her. And finally, he becomes so desperate, he just doesn't want to live anymore. And in the middle of the night, he gets up and he leaves his house and he's wandering the streets. Decides to take a walk in the middle of the night. And in those times, there were night watchmen that would sort of just keep a lookout for any shifty characters on the street. And they start to follow him. And he gets really worried, and he's like uncomfortable. He doesn't know who's following him. And so he starts running, and he runs faster. And pretty soon, another watchman meets the other one, and there's more than one following him. And he's running faster, and he's out of breath. And he curses them, and he says, "Surely this is the angel of death following me, or somebody who wishes me harm." And he's really terrified for his life, and he's running, and he's desperate to get away from them. And he sees this wall, and he starts climbing it. It's a town where they had those walls around their gardens, and it turns out to be a really tall wall, and it's very difficult to climb. And he's so worried they're going to catch up with him. He's just in desperation gets to the top, and he hurdles himself over the top of the wall without any thought to his safety or whatever, and lands in the garden. And when he catches his breath and raises his head, what does he see but his beloved? And she's carrying a lantern, searching in the garden for a ring that she's dropped. And his heart is filled with joy. After years of separation, he's found his beloved. And so he blesses the watchmen that were chasing him. And he says, "Surely you are angels sent from heaven. And I thank you, for chasing me and scaring me into this garden to find my love." And in a way, we can all relate to this because sometimes the most challenging and difficult things that we experience are the things that open up the garden of our beloved, which of course is a metaphor for the sacred mysteries that we seek when we long for reunion with our highest and best selves. So, with that thought, I would like to guide you on some writings chosen from different religious traditions on the subject of divine guidance when on the spiritual path. And I'd like us to begin with a clearing meditation to start with, because it has been a very heavy week and as far as what's been in the news, and it's brought up a lot of pain and a lot of challenges as far as heaviness in our hearts and maybe hopelessness on the future of humanity. But I believe that these writings will help us to get in touch with the best part of ourselves and to rekindle that hope for the future. So, with that, I invite you to settle down very comfortably in your chair, wherever you are. Assure that you won't be disturbed for this period of the next 30 minutes or so. And as you close your eyes, begin to let your breathing slow down and deepen. Taking a breath in through your nose and slowly letting out the breath through your mouth. Breathing in and slowly breathing out. And this allows our nervous system to begin to reset. And as you close your eyes, feel your body relaxing. And bring your attention to the back along the spine, from the top of your head to your tailbone. And have the thought that all the complexities and strong emotions of the day are being expressed to the back like smoke or vapor. All the heaviness, all the stress, all the anxiety is being transformed, and it's simply blowing away from that line from the top of your head to the bottom of the spine. And stay with this intention and feel the process slowly accelerating as you see more smoke, heavier smoke, as more and more of this negativity is being transmuted and released from your system. And as this process continues, notice any thoughts or emotions that surface as they're leaving you. Just watch them like clouds passing through the sky. Acknowledge them and allow them to pass through you. Try not to dwell on whatever is coming up for you, but simply let it pass and remain confident in the process. If you notice your attention drifting, gently return your awareness to the vapor leaving you, remaining relaxed but attentive. And allow this process to continue for another minute. Notice now that you begin to feel lighter. As the smoke leaves, you begin to be filled with a positive, healing energy centered in your heart. Your heart is now feeling calm and peaceful. And now you feel your body and mind refreshed and rejuvenated. And now I'd like you to stay with that feeling of lightness in the heart as we prepare to receive writings on divine guidance from different spiritual traditions. O Lord, unto thee I repair for refuge, and towards all thy signs I set my heart. O Lord, whether traveling or at home, and in my occupation or in my work, I place my whole trust in thee. Grant me then thy sufficing help, so as to make me independent of all things, O thou who art unsurpassed in thy mercy. Bestow upon me my portion, O Lord, as thou pleasest, and cause me to be satisfied with whatsoever thou hast ordained for me. Thine is the absolute authority to command. Baha'i Writings, the Bab. In you, O Lord, do I take refuge. Let me never be put to shame. In your righteousness, deliver me. Incline your ear to me. Rescue me speedily. Be a rock of refuge for me, a strong fortress to save me. For you are my rock and my fortress, and for your name's sake, lead me and guide me. You take me out of the net they have hidden for me, for you are my refuge. Into your hand I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God. I hate those who pay regard to worthless idols, but I trust in the Lord. I will rejoice and be glad in your steadfast love, because you have seen my affliction. You have known the distress of my soul, and you have not delivered me into the hand of the enemy. You have set my feet in a broad place. Judaism, Psalm 31. One must judge of spiritual search by the standard of the Majnun of love. It is related that one day they found upon Majnun sifting the dust and his tears flowing down. They said, "What doest thou?" He said, "I seek for Layli." They cried, "Alas for thee! Layli is of pure spirit, and thou seekest her in the dust." He said, "I seek her everywhere. Haply, somewhere I shall find her." Yea, although to the wise it be shameful to seek the Lord of Lords in the dust, yet this betokeneth intense ardor in searching. Whoso seeketh out a thing with zeal shall find it. The Baha'i Writings, Baha'u'llah, the Seven Valleys. If one of evil life turns in his thought straightly to me, count him amidst the good. He hath the highway chosen. He shall grow righteous ere long. He shall attain that peace which changes not. Thou Prince of India, be certain none can perish, trusting me. Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Christianity, Proverbs. And David spake unto the Lord the words of this song in the day that the Lord had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies, and out of the hand of Saul. And he said, The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, the God of my rock. In him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him. Christianity, 2 Kings, verse 22. When a seeker determined to take the path of search, in the path leading unto the knowledge of the Ancient of Days, he must before all else cleanse his heart, which is the seat of the revelation of the inner mysteries of God, from the obscuring dust of all acquired knowledge and the illusions of the embodiments of satanic fancy. He must purge his breast, which is the sanctuary of the abiding love of the beloved, of every defilement, and sanctify his soul from all that pertaineth to water and clay, from all shadowy and ephemeral attachments. He must so cleanse his heart that no remnant of either love or hate may linger therein, lest that love blindly incline him to error, or that hate repel him away from the truth. Even as thou dost witness in this day how most of the people, because of such love and hate, are bereft of the immortal face, have strayed far from the embodiments of the divine mysteries, and shepherdless are roaming through the wilderness of oblivion and error. That seeker must at all times put his trust in God, must renounce the peoples of the earth, must detach himself from the world of dust, and cleave unto him who is the Lord of Lords. Baha'i Writings, Baha'u'llah. One universal creator God, by the grace of the true Guru, at home and outside, I place my trust in you. You are always with your humble servant. Bestow your mercy, O my beloved God, that I may chant the Lord's name with love. God is the strength of his humble servants. Sikhism, Sri Guru Granth. True happiness depends on spiritual good and having the heart ever open to receive the divine bounty. If the heart turns away from the blessings of God, how can it hope for happiness? If it does not put its hope and trust in God's mercy, where can it find rest? Oh, trust in God, for his bounty is everlasting, and in his blessings, for they are superb. Oh, put your faith in the Almighty, for he faileth not, and his goodness endureth forever. God, in his infinite goodness, has exalted us to so much honor and has made us masters over the material world. Shall we then become their slaves? Nay, rather let us claim our birthright and strive to live the life of the spiritual sons of God. The glorious Sun of Truth has once again risen in the east. From the far horizon of Persia, its radiance is spreading far and wide, dispersing the dense clouds of superstition. The light of the unity of mankind is beginning to illuminate the world, and soon the banner of divine harmony and the solidarity of nations will be flying high in the heavens. Yea, the breezes of the Holy Spirit will inspire the whole world. Never lose thy trust in God. Be thou ever hopeful, for the bounties of God never cease to flow upon man. If viewed from one perspective, they seem to decrease, but from another, they are full and complete. Man is under all conditions immersed in a sea of God's blessings. Trust in God and rely on his great bounty, because his bounty is overflowing like the seas, brilliant like unto the lights, flowing like currents of water, and raining like the clouds. It is incumbent upon thee to be humble, lowly, and submissive at the appearance of the lights of the gifts of thy Lord in every instant. Serve the friends of God under all circumstances and conditions. Baha'i Writings, Abdul Baha. Lauded and glorified art thou, O my God. I entreat thee by the sighing of thy lovers, and by the tears shed by them that long to behold thee, not to withhold from me thy tender mercies in thy day, nor to deprive me of the melodies of the dove that extolleth thy oneness before the light that shineth from thy face. I am the one who is in misery, O God. Behold me cleaving fast to thy name, the all-possessing. I am the one who is sure to perish. Behold me clinging to thy name, the imperishable. I implore thee, therefore, by thyself, the exalted, the Most High, not to abandon me unto mine own self, and unto the desires of a corrupt inclination. Hold thou my hand with the hand of thy power, and deliver me from the depths of my fancies and idle imaginings, and cleanse me of all that is abhorrent unto thee. Cause me then to turn wholly unto thee, to put my whole trust in thee, to seek thee as my refuge, and to flee unto thy face. Thou art verily he who through the power of his might doeth whatsoever he desireth, and commandeth through the potency of his will whatsoever he chooseth. None can withstand the operation of thy decree. None can divert the course of thine appointment. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the All-Glorious, the Most Bountiful. Baha'u'llah, the Baha'i Writings. And now we'll spend some time in silent contemplation to allow these beautiful writings to permeate the depths of our heart. And I'll check back on you in a few minutes. And now, with your eyes still closed, take a moment to notice changes in your body and soul since you began this practice. Form an intention to maintain that peaceful openness in your heart and your soul as you gently return to this time and space, moving fingers and toes, shifting in your chair. And when you feel ready, open your eyes with a soft downward gaze as you return to the present. And that concludes our recording for this evening. Thank you for joining us.